What's up, everybody, and welcome to the part 2 of the video log podcast thing, whatever you want to call it, from San Francisco to Anaheim. Now, I know you're like, oh, you're not in a car. Well, yeah, you caught me. Yeah, I did want to do this initially on my trip back from San Francisco, but that did not work out because of storage issues. So yeah, I'm going to do this right now, answer the rest of the questions that I got from you guys, and chat about the trip itself and how awesome it was. Alright, so let's jump right into it. This question's from Dio. It says, talk about an idea for a story, game, anime-like plot, characters, etc. Yikes. Okay. Idea for a game, I guess I'll go with, I don't know, something really cool would be probably like something like a fighting game, I guess. 2D fighters has always been a big fan of. So I would put, it's not really something super unique, but I would make, a game I'd like to see is like a Marvel vs. Capcom type game, but like just Marvel, like they had back in the day with Marvel Superheroes and X-Men Children of the Atom and stuff like that. I know you have your mobile, the Contest of Champions, but that's a bunch of baloney. So yeah, I mean, it's not really a new IP or a new idea or anything. It's just I think it would be pretty cool to have like a Marvel vs. Capcom type fighting game, but just to have all Marvel and like have, you know, a bunch of people. You know, people from the movies, people from the TV shows, obviously the comics themselves, and just kind of have a big roster of people going at it, and I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I know that's not super like original, but I honestly can't think of anything. So sorry about that, deal. Next question comes from Marshall. Ideas you think would be cool as a movie? Oh boy. Okay. Well, Hollywood's getting really big into, like, obviously making the superhero movies, and then Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and, you know, kind of things that were cartoons that are now being made into films. Not that they weren't before, but they're just doing that again. So it's kind of, this question's kind of tough, because you would think, like, oh, something from your childhood would be really cool, you know, as a film or whatever, with these bigger budgets, and, you know, just imagining them on the big screen. So, things cool as a movie. Like when they announced the Assassin's Creed movie, I thought that'd be pretty cool. And by trailers, I mean, or trailer, I think it's only been one so far. It looks cool. Like, I'm interested. Music, I know, is not everybody's strong point on that trailer. Like, personally, I'm fine with the music. I would have just dropped the lyrics. Like, if you had just had that music as the, like, an instrumental, I think it would have been much better. Now, are there some things I'm like, why are they doing that in the movie? Absolutely. But I'm definitely interested in it. And then the Warcraft movie as well, from playing those on the computer growing up. Those look, you know, it has my interest. I know review-wise it's kind of across the board. Just like some people like it, some people don't. But, I mean, that's anything ever. People like things, people don't like things. So, I guess I would say a video game movie. I know they just released Ratchet and Clank a month ago, maybe two, and that was okay. I know they released that teaser for Sly Cooper a while ago, and if that comes to fruition, I think that'll be awesome. But other than that, like something I haven't thought of or heard of yet, that could be cool. Like a BioShock movie could be cool. Tell that story in, you know, film and cinema. As for comics go, I mean, there's so many stories you could play out. But I think with Gwen Stacy being back as Spider-Gwen, I think that'd be really cool to see a movie about her and that character, because that seems to be connecting with a lot of people. And has a good storyline in the comics so far. So yeah, I mean, they're not like super original, just like Dio's question, but I think those would be cool. Bioshock movie, Spider Gwen movie, those kind of things. So there you go. All right, next question from Macario. What are some I can read. What are some circumstances which have shaped you into who you are today? Um, I mean, I haven't really gone through anything like dramatic, I guess you could say, or like super terrible. Um, so I don't know. This one will be short and sweet. With Taekwondo, we had the 6 principles of the black belt: modesty, courtesy, integrity, self-control, perseverance, indomitable spirit. So I really tried to build that into me and my character, I guess. Um, you know, be happy about the things I've accomplished, but never be, you know, over the top with it, or um, brag about it. Just be simple, and then be nice to people. I've been working on that. And just overall being positive. I've talked about this on the stream before. Positive makes positive, negative makes negative. So try and get rid of all the negativity with positiveness. Surround yourself with good people, and make good circumstances. The more you're putting down yourself and putting down others, it's just going to stay that way. So those 6 principles helped, and then another circumstance. I mean, I was bullied in school a little bit. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't obviously a good thing. But just learning from those, and obviously at the time it affected me, but looking back at it, I'm like, just let it be, whatever. I don't know what they were going through. Not that that gives them a right to do that, but just brush it off. Like I said, surround yourself with positive people. If there's any negativity that comes in, whether there in the stream now and whatever, I don't need it. We don't need it. Get out. Simple as that. We don't need you here. So yeah, just keep building up the positive that you have in your life, and then any negative, try and work on it and get rid of it. And you don't have to let it in. Just be positive. So I know that wasn't really circumstances that have shaped me into who I am, but yeah, my goal is always just to be the most positive person I can be. Not like smiling. Well, smiling is important, but not overdoing it. But just trying to remember not to let things get to me as much, and be nice to everyone I possibly can. And if they accept it, awesome. If they don't accept it, that's fine. They don't have to. But it does not hurt to smile, say please and thank you some more, and say have a good day. Those little things, they go far. They go far. Okay, next question is from Justin. Speak on what it feels like to be your age in the times you live in. Sorry. Example, retrospective of personal experience as an individual and how current national and international events make you feel. Okay, so real talk. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good question. Out of all of them, this is probably the one I've thought about the most, because I wasn't sure how I wanted to tackle this. I guess first I'll talk about how technology is involved, and evolved, not involved, sorry, over the years. And I know it's definitely not as big of a growth as say the generation before me, parents and stuff like that, but we're right in it. I remember first getting our first computer and the internet and stuff like that, and then seeing where it is now. Obviously it's just everyday life. So it was a big growth, but it wasn't the biggest leap compared to others. So it's cool to see all these things and technology come into the fray. But then it's also weird to look at the next generation, or at least, kids slightly younger than me, um, and being like, why do you have a phone when you're like 8 and stuff like that? And I know I get the whole practicality of like, oh, you need to call your parents for a ride or something like that, and they can always contact you. But then some of it, it's like, what? Why? Like in this, even online in the streams and stuff like that, you'll get a random kid every once in a while who's like, "Oh yeah, I'm 10 and watching the stream." I'm like, what are you doing? No. Like, you have so many other things you could be doing. Or it's like late at night and like, "Oh yeah, I don't have to sleep." I'm like, what do you? No. Um, so I think, like, technology obviously has its good things, like it makes things easier and more accessible and everything like that. But it also has a lot of barriers that need to be put up, I guess, and stuff like that. And I know people are still learning those, but I don't know. I feel like maybe some people are being too lenient with it, with the younger guys, I guess you could say. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way my parents taught me is. But I feel like sometimes the younger guys need to be, a little reined down on that. I don't know. I ain't a parent, so I can't really speak on that because, it's not my right to tell you how to raise your kid or anything like that. But, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Current national and international events. Alright, well, gay marriage just became, not just, but became legal. And that's, great. And I know a lot of people are still figuring it out, I guess you could say. And the whole transgender thing that's come up recently and whatever. And I know I'm not the most political person. Like, I don't really look into that kind of thing and pay attention to it all that much. As much as I should at least. But my thoughts on the whole gay rights issue, transgender right issues, and those kinds of things. Sorry. I mean, let them do them. I'm fine with it. Now this may come off as derogatory or as an insult, and if it does, I apologize. I didn't mean it that way. The whole transgender thing, I don't understand. I don't get it. And like I said, that may come off the wrong way, and if it does, I'm sorry. It's just, I can't understand it because I'm not going through that issue. I don't have that issue. Not to say it's a problem, because it's you, You are you. I am me, I just can't understand the things you're going through. It's the same as someone with anxiety. I can't even fathom what they go through or stuff like that. It's just an experience I don't experience, so I can't speak like this is how it feels and stuff like that. So I don't understand why transgender people would want to swap. But, obviously, like I said, I don't feel that, so I can't, share that mindset, I guess you could say. So overall, my opinion on that and gay rights and, all these things is, do you, as long as you're not hurting other people, everybody's consentful and, you're living your life as a positive human being, not harming anybody or anything like that, then who cares? yeah, I mean, I'm being bad at explaining myself right now, and I apologize for that. I'm not the most, don't know the word for it, descriptive, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, just in a nutshell, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you know, yeah, you want to get married, you get married. If you want to change, you know, do your thing. Um, yeah, they recently talked about this on the Game Over Greggy show. This is one of their topics. I'll put it right down here. And they talked about it, and I agree with them 100%. So, like, Colin goes very vocal. Like, he's very good at, you know, expressing his thoughts and being vocal about it. Um, so, yeah, I would just say listen to that. And, you know, they explain it much better than I am right now. But, yeah, it sucks that people are getting um, attacked, I guess you could say, or, you know, put down for the things, but they're just being them. You know, you have to let people be themselves, and it sucks they're going through it. I mean, we're making progress, which is good, but yeah, it's definitely going to take some time. Like I said, I don't understand it, and it's maybe just because I don't know enough about it. Um, who knows? But yeah, I'm glad we're working towards being more accepting of it. It's a shame that we have to go through this, but I'm glad we're making progress towards it, and hopefully, you know, one day we won't have to worry about it. Like, I know we're still working on even just race stuff, which is unfortunate because that's been, you know, an issue for how long, and feminism and stuff like that, and women's rights and all that. And, you know, we shouldn't have to worry about those things, you know. I never looked at, you know, anyone female as like, oh, you're lesser than me, or anyone who was black or Asian or whatever, and been like, oh, you're lesser than me, you know. No. What gives me the right to be up here and you guys all down here, whatever it may be? No. We're all on the same level, platform, you know. We're all just trying to better ourselves and live good lives, so why can't we just do that? Why do we always have to be, you know, at each other's throats or whatever and trying to be the top dog? I don't know. So yeah, there's your real question of the podcast. So thank you, Justin, for that. It's definitely good to think about these things and not just shutter them all out, because once you do that, then just more issues arise. You know, talking about them is a good thing. All right, more lighter topic. Next question comes from Ricario. What is the funniest thing that has happened to you and the worst? Alright, I usually go bad news first, so we'll go with the worst thing. Like I said, I haven't really gone through anything terrible in my lifetime. Been in a couple of car accidents, those were scary, but I mean, it's not like a monumental, like, holy crap thing. You know, family members passing. Two that I remember, or that affected me the most, was my great grandmother and my grandmother. You know, those were the two that I think affected me the most. I mean, there have been others, and they definitely, you know, have affected me, but I think it was more because I was younger. I was like, I don't know, it just didn't connect with me as much. Not to say they weren't important, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Worst thing that happened to me, I can't really say like there's this one thing that just really sucked. Overall, you know, everybody's got ups and downs, and you know, you get over them, you go past them, whatever it may be. So, funniest thing that's happened to me, I don't know. Oh, okay, I got one. All right. So this may be gross, and if it is, I apologize. um, I was in North Carolina. I believe it was for, yeah, it was for one of my cousin's weddings. I don't remember which. And we were staying in a hotel, you know, for the however long we were there, this thing. But we're leaving, right? And my cousin Charlie and I, we got in the elevator, and we were going up, I think, to grab like our last bags before we were heading out. So it was just us in the elevator, okay? I don't remember what we were talking about or whatever happened, but we're just sitting there, or standing in the elevator waiting for it to go up. Doors closed. Ding. Now, for some reason, I had to fart so bad. I don't know why. I was just like holding it in, freaking waiting like in a freaking explosion. So, like, just us, whatever. So, whoop, let it go. And we just start dying laughing for no like, just because, oh, we're little kids, this is funny. Now, I said I had to fart real bad. Well, apparently there was more gas that needed to come out. So we're laughing so hard, I kept farting, and it just escalated like, oh, it's fart, laugh, and we're just dying in that elevator all the way up, just being stupid kids, just laughing at us being, it's just, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of where we were just dying laughing. And it wasn't even that long. It was maybe like 5 stories up, but yeah, just us dying laughing going up there. So yeah, that's funniest and worst things. Alright, next question comes from Anna, one of my cousins. Talk about how cool your cousins are. Alright. Hi, Sasha. Okay, stop eating my arm. Relax. Okay. So how cool my cousins are. Now, on my dad's side, I don't have a lot of cousins. I'm actually the oldest, and then next one is 17, and then we got some young guns and like 3 and 1. And then on my mom's side, there's just a bunch of cousins. There's a bunch of us, ranging from was it mid-30s to 3? Yeah. So there's a bunch of them. And I mean, they're second cousins or whatever you want to call them in there. But yeah, I'm going to talk about, like, they're all really cool. The cool thing about them is, like, we all live in different areas. Like, most of us live in New York. And then some of us are in North Carolina, and then we have the Californians, and then we got some even over in Hawaii. But even with us being like so far apart and everything like that, I think it's just really cool how like we're some of our closest friends. Like it doesn't matter how long we haven't seen each other or whatever, but we just hang out and laugh about things and, catch up real quick on like, oh, what's new, this and that and the other thing. But then, we can go out, have fun. It's never like, oh, hey, whatever, haven't seen you in a while. Cool. Glad to see you well. Peace. No, we're always like, oh, I want to do this, want to do that, want to hang out. And, always keeping each other entertained constantly and laughing about stupid shit or, talking about our problems or what's good in life, what's bad in life, and always having each other to chat about or chat with and chat things over with is always nice. And like I said, we're definitely, even though I know family, but we're definitely really good friends of each other's, and that relationship is definitely awesome to have with all of those guys, and I'm lucky to have it with those guys. I can't wait to see them again. It's always like, oh, you're on a trip, and then, oh, they're leaving. It's like, no, I don't want you guys to leave. So yeah, it's always a pleasure and always a treat to see those guys and hang out with them more. Okay, along the same topic, John asks, how did you meet the East Coasters? Okay, so by the East Coasters, he means the reformation-esque of LTS gaming. You got myself, obviously. You got John, Billy, Dio, And Nat. Ugh, so, uh, I think out of the group, yeah, it's definitely out of the group. Billy's who I met first. Ugh, excuse me. Met Billy through Taekwondo. I don't remember what age we met exactly, because he was a pretty young gun. But I think the first recollection I have of him was like demo team early on when he joined. You know, being whoop, little Billy, little bamboo. I just remember him and Connor being funny, one of his good friends. Um, but yeah, I met him through Taekwondo. John, actually met him twice, which sounds weird, but hear me out. Met him through one of our mutual friends, James, who I mentioned last podcast. And we're met at, I think it was James's birthday party or something like that. Or we were just hanging out, we were playing board games. And he was really cool. And then actually met him again, like maybe a year or two later, also through James in some event. And after that one, we just, clicked and we're like, yo, want to hang out more? And we hung out more and went out to eat and, hung out together, played more games and video games, board games, stuff like that. And then Dio and Natalie, I also met through Taekwondo. They moved from California out because of work, and they all started. I think their daughter started first. Yeah, Little Ninja started, and then eventually those guys started each themselves, and yeah, they were just really cool. Really friendly people. Always down to chat and stuff like that, and Dio and I hit it off with video game discussions and stuff like that. Because I mean, at Taekwondo, I was never the most social of people. Like I tried to, obviously, like I said earlier, be positive with people. Hey, how you doing? Things like that. But I was never like deep in a conversation, whatever. And I've been working on it, but yeah, him, it was just so easy because we had those common interests. It was never like, oh, what do we have to talk about next? Thinking it was already going. So yeah, that's how I met the East Coasters. I'm really lucky to meet or have met those guys because they become like some of my closest friends in recent years. And we got our little group chats, and we used to do the D&D streams together. And those guys are very supportive with everything, YouTube-wise, Twitch-wise, and life-wise, overall. And I'm very lucky to have those guys. And I know no matter where we are in life, like exactly now, I'm on the other coast. They're back all on the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast. And even with that time difference and being that distant apart, we're all still really close and can chat with each other whenever. And I'm very grateful I have that, and I know wherever we are in life we'll have that, and yeah, I appreciate it. Alright, wow, we're flying through these. I got 3 questions left. Alright, I'm gonna go with, yeah. Alright. Next question is from Ashley, another cousin. You should talk about the cool things cool things to do in San Francisco. So, recently obviously, came back from San Francisco for the Kind of Funny Live event. Bam! Kind of Funny Live 2, Regency Ballroom, 25th and 26th. And that was awesome, and I'm going to get more into that later, make it its own big topic and everything like that. But, yeah, I went early. The show was a Saturday and Sunday event. I drove up on Thursday because there was community events, like the mods and admins, they organize things together. And, we're doing stuff Thursday, we're doing stuff Friday, and then the show was Saturday and Sunday, and they had some events around those days too, and on Monday when everybody was leaving and stuff like that. So I got to see some cool things and, do some cool stuff. One thing they went to was Alcatraz, the prison out on the island. I did not go on that trip because that was bright and early Thursday when I was driving up. But that's a cool thing to do. They seemed to all enjoy that. We met up at a field, Chrissy Park Field, I think it's called, or just Chrissy Field. But it's kind of like mm, the park by the Statue of Liberty. Like it's one of those, and you can just see, the bridge right there off in the distance, really close. Well, not off in the distance, it's like right there. So that's a great, hangout spot. It's a giant park, so if you want to just chill, you could do that. Um, and then yeah, you can get some cool pictures of the bridge and everything. Um, I mean, everything's not too far away. So like, I was taking some Ubers early on, but then I started walking from place to place. And it's a decent walk, but it's not like super terrible, and you're gonna, oh my god, I'm gonna die, or whatever. But some food places I would recommend. I went to a place called Underdogs. It's an awesome burrito place. Oh, that was fantastic. Pachi's Pizza is really good. They got both Chicago style and New York style, which is you don't see really in pizza places often, so I respected that. They were really good. A place I didn't get a chance to go to, but I really wanted to, is Wing Wings. Apparently they are fantastic. I was talking to some of the other kind of funny best friends community about that, and they're like, oh man, yeah, you gotta go. And then of course the day I wanted to go, they weren't closed, and I was like, god damn it. So there's some food places. But yeah, it's San Francisco. It's like the greatest parallel I can make to it is New York City. It's just New York City without all the bright lights and everything. Beautiful city, got beautiful parts and parks inside of it, and then unfortunately there's the sketchy parts. The only flaw about San Francisco is, other than cost of living, well, that kind of goes hand in hand. With cost of living is there's a lot of homeless people there. And I know you could say, oh, what about LA? What about New York? And I'm like, I don't, like, there probably is a good amount, just like San Fran, but they're not all together. Like, I feel like New York is more spread out, same with LA. San Francisco's kind of bunched together, so maybe it's just more prevalent. Like, you can see them better, I guess. But that was the only, like, bad thing. Like, walking around at night and stuff like that, it was just a little, but you said cool things. So, yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of cool things to do. When you go, just, be aware of your surroundings and everything like that. I did not get a chance to go to the Redwood Forest, the Ewok Forest. I know, sad face. But that's another cool thing you could have done. There's Isotope Comics, which is a really cool comic book store you could go to. But yeah, I would just say take it all in. Walk around. Like I said, it's not terrible. Some parts it's hilly, which can suck, but other than that, it's not bad to walk around. Just keep your eyes open, and you'll be fine. And yeah, that was San Fran. All right. Last question before the recap of the trip from Mr. Acario. One more. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years from now? Oh boy. Alright, this is the tough one. I mean, there's ideas of what where I'd want to be and what I want to do. This this move to California was probably the biggest, like, planned thing I had in quite a while. To move out here to try and get a job in the game industry or whatever it may be. And, leave home and pack everything up and leave Taekwondo and stuff like that. That was probably the biggest plan I had. But other than that, I currently don't have any plan for something. Like, obviously, finding a job and finding a job I like and enjoy is a plan, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, 100% or whatever it may be. It's just kind of going with the flow at the moment. And, it's a good thing because I get to take everything in. I'm not missing out on anything, or at least that I feel like. But it's also bad because I'm not focused or have that light at the end of the tunnel that I am, reaching for. So 5 years from now, let's say I'd be 27. almost 28. Uh, I'd like to have a job I'm happy with. Hopefully editing videos or animating. I'd like to still be doing Taekwondo or be active in some kind of way. I'd like to have a house by that time, and at least find the significant other out there. I don't know if we'll have kids by then or any on the way, but be somebody with somebody I care about and stuff like that. And then yeah, just as long as I'm happy and have good people around me and enjoy what I'm doing, I'd be fine with whatever. I don't really have like a set location in my head. Like New York is great. It's nearby all my family and most of my friends. So it'd be great to be there. I like California. It's nice here, but I'd be open to be, living almost anywhere, Washington, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. Pretty much I don't have any set spot that I'm like, I want to be, here or whatever. So, like I said, I know that's vague and whatever, but I don't have that rock solid plan. Obviously, I have some, like, small things I'd like to accomplish, but it's not like, to get here, I'm going to do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. I'm kind of just, at the moment, going with the flow, riding it out, taking in as much as I can, and still chasing those opportunities, but not I don't have that structured plan for it. And like I said, it's got its good thing, good reasons to be that way, and some bad reasons to be like that way. So if you know me well, plans are always what I prefer. So I should probably, soon definitely start thinking more about that and start working towards those things that I want to get done. That way I know I'm making progress and I'm not just letting time, slip by. Yeah. Alright. And our grand finale, Kinda Funny Live 2. Alright, so we got back from San Francisco on Monday. Today is now Thursday. So I've been able to, fully absorb everything and think it through and all those kind of things. The trip was absolutely amazing. Definitely glad I did it. Show was great. Those guys blew it out of the water. So yeah, I'm going to pretty much talk about the whole trip, my experience starting with Thursday, going Monday. So yeah, Thursday, left bright and early, drove up, did the whole podcast, the first part and stuff like that. And yeah, it was like a 7-hour drive, 7.5, something like that. It wasn't actually that bad. I mean, the longest drive I had done previously was 3 hours. Yeah. But this one wasn't that bad. I actually had some podcasts from the guys, like their past ones, and I actually listened to those, but those kind of, made time fly by. And then the podcast definitely helped as a little nice separator, I'm going to do this for an hour. And that was relaxing. So that wasn't too bad to drive. As soon as I got there, checked in the hotel, excuse me, I got everything situated, and then I was like in and out. The field meetup was at 3. I think I got there maybe at 2:30ish in San Fran. So yeah, I unpacked everything, got everything settled, then took right back out and went to the field. At first I didn't meet anybody there. I was kind of just flying solo because they were still wrapping up lunch and on their way. So I walked up and down the park a little bit, finally found a bench, sat down, just relaxed. Was in contact with some of those guys over Twitter, some of the mods and administrators for the channel that organized the event. It was just like, hey, I'm here, let me know when you guys are, let me know where you are, and I'll, hop over with you guys. So I'm sitting there, and then two guys walk past me, and they noticed my shirt. I had my Lit Tim Host shirt on for kind of funny, and they're like, "Hey, what's up? We're here too." And they introduced themselves, Drew and Patrick, very nice guys. So we chatted a little while, and then we met up with another guy, Jay, and I heard back from one of the mods, and they're like, "Oh, we're here. We're here," and she was nice enough to send me a little picture of the Google Maps where she was located. I was like, "Oh, sweet." So we went over there. We started walking that direction, and then I look over and I notice there's this big, group kind of walking the other direction. I'm like, "Huh, that's a pretty big group for just like hanging out in the park." So I was like, "Huh, maybe it's those guys." And they're like, "Yeah, maybe it could be." So we shouted over like, "Kind of funny," and they're like, "Hi." So we all met up, and that was pretty cool, catching up with those guys. And so we're walking down closer towards the bridge area to kind of hang out and sit down, chat with everybody and whatever. And one of the guys comes up to me from the big group, taps me on the shoulder, is like, "Hey, are you Brett?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" It was Lewis, who he has his own, I guess, yeah, podcast you could call it, with his buddies, and on his YouTube channel, Musing with Manchacha. Um, and a while ago on the Facebook fan page, he asked like if anybody could help him out making an opening for his channel, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I could give it a try." I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make something cool or whatever, so I gave it a shot and sent him what I came up with, and he enjoyed it. But yeah, I just ran into him, and that was incredible. Just to have someone like recognize you, because I'm once again not the most vocal person in this community. I'm just kind of like, I'll chat every once in a while or comment on things, but I'm not the most prevalent person there. And it was just really cool to have somebody recognize you and be like, "Oh, yo, what's up? Glad to see you." So, came up, was like, "Hey, what's up?" Gave me a hug and everything like that. And we chatted about his show and everything like that and caught up. That was really cool. But yeah, it was just nice meeting all these people. Met some more cool people there, like Sean and Jordan and a couple of the other guys, and chatting with them here and there. So we got a nice group photo of all of us and stuff like that, and different angles and whatever. But yeah, it was crazy, like hearing where people came from, like people from New York, people from Pennsylvania, people from Texas, people from London, people from frickin' New Zealand, and flew over. And I'm just like, wow, this is awesome, having all these people here together. So the first meetup at the field was really cool. Just like this is the start of the event. That whole like the go time. That moment of like, wow, we're all here. Um, so we did that, and then later we dispersed, went out for dinner, various groups and whatever like that. I actually went back to the hotel and crashed a little bit. And then we met back up at the Foundry, which is this bar and arcade, and that place is awesome, crazy awesome. So what it is they have like different little gaming stations, kind of like laptops and whatever, at these tables like all around. Like they have Mario Kart, they have Smash Bros, they got Rocket League, they got Street Fighter 5, they got all these different games just like stationed around. And then they got other tables which have like, card games and board games, stuff like that. And then you got the general bar and stuff like that. But it's just like walking in there is like, oh man, this is sweet. So, caught up with some more kind of funny best friends there and chatted with them and met more of them. Like I met Tom, I met Amy Gills, I met Joey Noel, some more mods and admins, and then some other people like Cameron and some really cool people there. Chatted with them, and then something cool that I didn't realize was gonna happen was the DJ there for a little while had a little set, was Grimecraft. And if you don't know Grimecraft, here's a picture, bam. But he's been on the Game Over Greggy show, Kind of Funny's main podcast, and he's been on there, and he's good friends with them. But he was DJing for a little while, and I actually got to chat with him for a while too, and he was a really cool dude, very laid back, and answer any questions you have and whatever. But he was just like, he felt like part of the community then. Like he was just there to, like, obviously he had the gig, but I mean he was chatting with all of us like just part of the group. He wasn't like, oh, whatever, bye. No, he actually hung out and chatted with all of us. So it was cool to see him there and meet him. And then one of the kind of funny guys, Greg Miller, came out too and surprised all of us and showed up and just hung out with us at the bar and everything. So that was really cool, and I got to meet him there, and that was a funny story because he's a internet superstar, as Tim would call it. And people want to hang out with him and talk with him, so he's got a crowd around him. And I was chatting with some of the other guys, and like, oh, have you met Greg yet? I'm like, no, I'll get to it when I get to it. He don't want to interrupt anybody, he's got a lot of people, and they're like, oh, dude, you need to meet Greg right now, so they're literally like, yo, he hasn't met Greg yet, yo, he hasn't met Greg. I'm like, whoa, chill out, I'll get, no worries. But yeah, they like push me over to Greg, and they're like, oh, Greg, this is Brett, and I offered him like, hey, nice to meet you, and shake my hand. He's like, no, and he comes over and he hugs me. I'm like, oh, jeez, that was awesome. So he was really cool and down to earth, and just like his sincerity of like, oh, thanks for coming, and it's really cool you made it. How are you, and stuff like that, and that was really cool. And me being the most not social of people, once again, it's almost like it's a common theme. I wasn't like. I chatted with him a little bit, but I wasn't like, didn't take up a lot of his time and whatever. But with all the people, there were some people that I definitely chatted more with, and other people I should have talked more with and got more involved. But yeah, the Thursday was just great. It was a lot of small talk, and it was really cool to meet people and hang out with people and just be part of that community. So Thursday was cool. Moving on to Friday, we met up for brunch. There's a cool grilled cheese place and another place, 21st Century Brewery, that we met up at. They were like right across the street, so we had one group here and one group here, and we're all just hanging out with each other. And then we went to IGN, and they were nice enough to hook us up with a tour. So we all walked down there. It was maybe a block or two. Right down the street is one big mega group. And we took the tour there, and I met some more guys like Trevor Starkey, and who else did I chat with? Anybody else? Yeah, a couple other people. Names are slipping. But met them, and we went through the tour, and it was really cool, and their offices are sweet. Like, it's got that like loft feel to it. It's very open. But it was cool like seeing Brian Altano and Andrew Goldfarb and Alana Pierce and all these other IGN people who, I know who they are, but I'm not like super following their stuff and like others are and stuff like that. But seeing the office, the cool like statues and artwork and just the workplace itself was pretty cool going through. And then they were nice enough to do a Q&A with us afterwards, so that was a giant group all crammed in the room answering people's questions, stuff like that. So after that, I went back and chilled at the hotel again. Apparently, the other guys went to a GameSpot tour after that, which somebody from the community literally set up like that day. So unfortunately, I missed out on that, but happy for that tour hooking up. That sounds like those guys had a good time. And then what else? Oh, Friday was the night for X-Men Apocalypse. We all went as one big group for that. So I think I went to dinner first. Yeah, that's when I went to Underdogs, the burrito place. And oh my god, that burrito was fantastic. I got something called the California burrito. So it's chicken, cheese, pico de gallo, and french fries. Oh, jeez. That great burrito. So if you get a chance to go there, go there. So I did that, and then yeah, I met up everybody at the Kabuki Sundance Theater for X-Men Apocalypse. Met up with Drew and Patrick in there, and Jordan, chatted with those guys. So yeah, what they did is it's reserved seating. They got the main seating down, and then they have the 21 and up balcony seats. So I went up there and got right in the front for the balcony, so I had a nice view of the movie. I think Greg was supposed to be at the movie, but he couldn't go. But Alfredo Diaz and his girlfriend Jackie Butler were both there. They're friends of Kind of Funny, so they were there, which was pretty cool. They were in the lower section. Movie was pretty good. It wasn't like fantastic, but it was a decent movie. Enjoyed it. So that was cool. Just meeting up everybody there once again, and getting our popcorn on, and movie on, and all that stuff. And then Saturday, day of the event. Saturday morning or lunchtime, we met up at a food truck, like food court outside. I assume the trucks are like permanently parked or whatever. I don't even know, but they got like picnic tables set up and TVs showing games and stuff like that. So there was some big soccer game going on, so there's a lot of people there and whatever. But got another burrito there at a food truck. It was like a barbecue bacon burrito that was really good. So yeah, sat down, ate that, met some other cool people there and chatted with them, and that was really nice. Just, have a nice lunch with everybody. And then once again, went back to the hotel, chilled for a little while. And when I walked down to the food court, or the food truck place, my hotel was right down the road from the Regency Ballroom. So it was on my way to the food truck place, so I walked past it. And at like 10 a.m., 10:30, something like that, there was already like 5 people lined up, and I was like, oh, alright, good for you guys. The show was at 7 at night, or at least that's when doors opened for VIPs. Show started at 8:30, or 8, something, yeah, 8. So I was like, oh, geez, okay. So yeah, I went back to the hotel after lunch at like 1:30, something like that. I got there. So I rested up a little bit, got ready, changed, and all that stuff, and prepped. And I figured, okay, it's going to be packed. There's so many VIPs, so many general admission. Probably should get in line early. So I line up. Wasn't too bad, actually. Like, there was probably maybe 40, 50, probably 50 to 60 people ahead of me, maybe, if that. So it wasn't too bad. So hours pass and pass and pass and pass. In line, they decided to do VIPs on one side of the staircase. Like, if here's the door, VIPs were over here, and then general admission was over here. So it went to the end of this block, hopped over the street. I was right on this corner, and then it went all the way down that road, over to the next road, and went for a little while. That line got crazy. Just every time, like, somebody coming up, like, is this the end of the line or the start of the line? Like, ends over there, I'm sorry. But, like, yeah, it was crazy seeing the amount of people in there. But you could definitely feel the energy as we were getting closer, like 6 and 6:30, and then the VIPs went in at 7. It was like, oh God, only a half hour more, and we get to go in. And we went in, got in line right away for the merch. This was an exclusive shirt for there, so I was lucky enough to snag that. There was T-shirts like this. There was posters. There was Funhouse shirts and Achievement Hunter shirts and stuff like that with the new Rooster Teeth partnership, or group up, or team up, or whatever you want to call it. So I went there, and then there was other people, like personalities, that were there just on the floor. Like Barb from Rooster Teeth was just out on the floor, and so was Jeff Ramsey, and they were kind of like helping direct traffic, like, oh no, if you wanted a merch line, you gotta go this way, and like taking pictures with people and being really nice and stuff like that. So the venue, like, got my merch and everything like that. Venue was really nice. It was kind of like a concert hall, pretty much. You got the balcony up top, and then you got just, the production area in the back and the wood floor down. And then they had a little catwalk set up and the big stage. So they had a big video wall up in the back where you could, tweet out, oh, hashtag KFL2, and, on Instagram or Twitter, and you could see your thing up there, and that was pretty cool. And Grimecraft, the DJ from the Foundry, was there. He was opening for them, like, as people walking in. He was just playing and doing his set. So yeah, they were letting people in, letting people in, letting people in, and around 8 or 8:30, the show started. And yeah, the guys, like, I know, not knowing the show, not knowing the channel, you're gonna be like, well, what do they do? Do they just sit at a table and talk for an hour on their podcast thing? No, it was it was crazy. It was like a freaking concert. Like, they have the build up videos. They did their all. They came out and entered, each in their own amazing way. Like, Colin came out to like some sports thing, and I don't know, just made his entrance. Nick came out to some like 80s rock from, I think it was Queen. Greg came out as the Undertaker, and then did a wardrobe change, and had the Wonder Woman theme behind him. And then Tim made the crazy entrance. And he joked about this on a past podcast or show a while ago, and I was glad he was able to do it. Like, they each had their little video montage before they came out, and then they came out. But his was like, came out and or was showing, was like, oh, turn around. So everybody turns around, and there's him on the production set, like, where they keep everything, lights and microphones and all that stuff ready to go, and they're running it, and he's on there, and he crowd surfs all the way up to the catwalk and made a big entrance that way. That was really cool. But then they went right into their press conference, made their announcements, like some new shows they were doing on the channel, and how they got a new partnership they're doing with Ismahawk, which is a really cool channel where they do superhero battles, live action, and a lot of production goes into that. So they're going to be guest starring on some of that. And then how they finally got their studio, which is really cool, because since they started, they've been working out of a spare bedroom, like, for all the recording, the shows and streams and stuff like that. So now they have an actual workplace studio that they're in, and they're going to set up and hopefully be in by the end of the summer. But that was a really big announcement. Then after that, they on their Twitch channel, they host their live show, Colin and Greg Live, where they do like news and stuff like that. But they do little YouTube videos that they really find funny at the beginning, like their openers. So they actually recreated them and showed their versions of them on the video wall. And then there's one that has come to fame by them. It's the aerobics championship that they used to hold in the 80s, I'm guessing. I don't even know. But they like did a spoof of that on the video, where they're like all like, starring Greg Miller, a little circle, and introducing themselves and stuff like that. And then it's going on, and then they actually came out in like the 80s get up, like leotard and sweatbands and stuff like that, and actually danced to it and stuff like that. So everybody got a kick out of that and had a blast. And then they came out and actually did their podcast and just chatted about the event itself, and thanking everybody for being there, and talking about certain people here and there. And then they had guests, like they had a bunch of guests. They had IGN personnel come down, they had Rooster Teeth come down, they had Funhouse people come down, like one at a time, and they were doing Lightning Reaction, a game with them where you hold on to a thing. There's 4 of you, push a button, and it's pretty much red light. As soon as you see the green light turn on, you push the button. If you're the first one to push it, you're safe. The other 3 people get shocked. So they were doing that one at a time with their guests, and then eventually it broke. So the rest of the guests they just kind of chatted with for a little while. So they did that, and then after that they just did more stage performance stuff, like they did lip sync videos. So they did a lip sync battle for another one of their openings, like an old movie they have. They lip synced, Tim and Nick lip synced a video they did last year, and rapped more to that. Oh, I'm sorry, before they did the lip syncs, they had musical stuff. They had Mega Ran come out and do his rap. Dr. Wily from Mega Man, and Colin actually got up on stage with him and rapped with him. That was really cool to see, with his anxiety, but he just seemed to be having a genuinely good time, and that was cool to see. And then one of their friends, Mike Drucker, came out and did a comedy bit. That was really funny. And then Tone Deaf came out and did another musical act which was cool. He was there last year. Um, so yeah, then they did their lip sync stuff. Nick did Pony, which is one of his well-known favorite songs. That was really cool. Greg did the Virgin America safety instructional video because they're a fan of that. I don't know. That was weird. And then Tim came out and was doing the thong song. And while he was doing it, Cisco came out and joined him for that. And Cisco supports them on Patreon and is a fan of them. So that was really cool to see. Apparently he flew right from Vegas to do that. So that was cool. Then after that, we all did a big sing-along of Pokemon, the Pokemon theme song, all together. And Tim's girlfriend, Gia, was dressed up in one of those giant Pikachu costumes, dancing around, so that was funny and cool to see her. And then another cool thing that happened was Kevin, their production guy, who's mainly behind the camera, he actually proposed to his girlfriend of 3 years. And she said yes, and that was nice for them. So yeah, the show was just really, really good. Like the references they made to past shows and things they've talked about in the past, and just you could see they were genuinely having fun with it. I mean, I can imagine their nerves leading up to it and during it, like, oh, this has to go right, and oh, we got a quick change to that, and oh my goodness, this and that and the other thing. But they were genuinely, I can talk, had smiles on their faces and were laughing and enjoying themselves, and that definitely was a good thing to see. I was happy to see that. So Saturday's show was awesome. Some people went out afterwards. I went home back to the hotel and crashed. I was tired. Sunday was more of a laid back day. It was the meet and greet day. So what they did was same lineup pretty much. I got there even earlier, so I was, a little farther ahead, which was really cool. So they had everybody sit at a table, come in, anything you want to have signed, and pictures. And I think the VIPs, this was one of their perks, they got a little bit more extra time. So like they had everybody, like the kind of funny guys, the Funhouse guys, the Achievement Hunter guys, the Rooster Teeth guys, everybody was at the table. And they had a little bit more time to chat with them. When the general admission guys came in, because there were so many of us, it was a little bit more streamlined. Like, oh, if you want a photo, get your phone out. If you want to have anything signed, get those things out. Okay, come up, picture, bam, you're good to go. Which I understand, because you have a lot of people to go through and stuff like that. So I didn't mind, like, oh, this is quick, So Kevin was pretty much running that, and he was doing a really good job running around and everything like that. So it was awesome. I got a picture with those guys. I got Nick to sign a poster that fan, I guess you could say, or just an artist that they know, made him a while ago. And then I got the guys to sign one of their first t-shirts. But yeah, I mean, even though it was quick, it was really cool how friendly everybody was. Like, I was standing on the side waiting for the person in front of me to get their stuff done, and Barb from Rooster Teeth was right on the end. It was her, it was Gus Sorolla, and then it was the Kind of Funny guys, so I only had them. But Barb was just sitting there, and she's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Chatting with me as they were wrapping up. I'm like, oh, good, how are you? And, but she was genuinely just genuinely just friendly, and I really appreciated that. And then I went behind the guys, and I was right there, and Greg looked up, and I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh, hey, did you enjoy everything? I'm like, yeah, everything was awesome. And he's like, yo, get right next to Tim. So I was like, oh, literally got right like on Tim, and gave him a little hug and everything like that. Took the picture, and yeah, just Tim that was really cool of him, because he turned around, looked me in the eye, and said, thank you for coming, it's really cool to meet you, and just a smile on his face too, because I can imagine there's so many people coming up just doing the same thing over and over again. That's got to be tiring. But even just that little smile, thanks for coming, all those things, just really was appreciative. So yeah, did that right off the bat. And then as that was going on, they had the other guys doing like shows, doing podcasts to kind of like, oh, you could be here, oh, you could be here, not like just one thing going on at a time. It's kind of like I said, it was more laid back. There's less people there, but you gotta just hang out pretty much together. So first podcast was the Off Topic podcast. It was Michael Jones, Jeff Ramsey, Adam Kovic, and Bruce Green up there chatting about whatever. So they did their thing, and then after that, the Kind of Funny guys and Gus Sorolla and Barb Dunkelman came up and did a Rooster Teeth Cross Kind of Funny podcast, which was cool. And then after that, the last thing they did was they had Smash Bros. They set it up on the big video wall, and they had people come up 8 at a time and play some Smash Bros. Just one matcha. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was just like I said, it was just more laid back. Everybody was chatting, hanging out. And it was a really cool event. And then they planned an after party at one of the hotels a lot of people were staying at, the Marriott. So I went back for a little while to the hotel, chilled out, charged my phone, everything like that. And I decided to walk over to the Marriott because it wasn't super far, and grab some food and everything like that. And I figured, it's on the way. I'll pass the Regency, see if, how everybody's doing, and see if they're packing up and everything. So they were packing up, and I noticed Nick was standing outside. I don't know if he was waiting for a ride or everything. It seemed like he was all packed up with his stuff. And Nick, I didn't get a chance to talk to all that much. Same with Colin, which was unfortunate. But I mean, like I said, there was a lot of people there, so I can understand, they can't get to everybody. So yeah, he was just there, and I walked up and, just thanked him for the show and all those things that they did, and he was very sincere and, thank you for coming and all those things. But it was really cool just to catch him and shake his hand and thank him personally, real quick, and then get out of his hair. So that was really cool. And then yeah, the Marriott was just like one big going away party at the bar. And we were just hanging out, getting their final pictures with people and chatting and whatnot and relaxing. Once again, Greg showed up and was hanging out with us and stuff like that. Then yeah, Monday I took off. Some of the people who were still there till Tuesday or something like that met up for lunch at another park and said their final goodbyes. But yeah, overall it was just a really, really fun and good experience. Show was great. I think more than the show, just the community itself was awesome. They have their moniker, the Kind of Funny guys, that we're all best friends, but it felt that way. Like nobody was, pushing anybody away. Nobody was like, ugh, I don't want to talk to you. Everybody was very friendly and open to talking about things and hanging out and going to things together and stuff like that. And I know I wasn't the most sociable on this trip, and that's more me than anybody else. So I wish I could have been more, but from what I did have, it was an awesome experience, and I can't thank the Kind of Funny guys enough for throwing it, and the community and all the cool people I did meet. Drew and Patrick, you guys were really, really awesome. 2 guys I first met. Jay, you were really cool. Chatted with you for a while. Jordan, Tom Hawkins was really, really cool. He went out of his way to chat with me and make sure I was alright while I was standing there being antisocial and stuff like that. He was really cool. And then yeah, the mods and admins themselves were just really cool to can't thank them enough for organizing community events. Sean, Kaylee, Joey Noel, Zyger, Amy, Trevor, just so many people there and that were really cool and everything like that. And yeah, if I am lucky enough to go to Kind of Funny Live 3 or 4 or 5 or however many of these crazy things there are, I can only imagine how awesome those will be. And it will feel like a little reunion with all those guys and stuff like that. So yeah, the trip was awesome. I would just say to anybody, if you're a fan of something and you ever have that, oh, I don't know if I should go, definitely go. Definitely, if you can, take that time for yourself to go out, meet some new people, have some fun with it. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. We got Let's Play Live, a Rooster Teeth event coming up in mid-June, and some of the community's going to that, so maybe I'll get to see some of those guys again or meet new people and stuff like that, even though it's only a one-day event. Still, just that idea of meeting up with old friends, meeting new people, stuff like that. Definitely a great trip. I'm glad I went to it, had the opportunity to go to it. Alright, well, this is going to wrap up part 2 of the road trip video log minus the car. Sorry about that. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, let me know in the comments below or whatever, or chat with me. I'm definitely am open to doing more of these, whether it's about a trip or just talking about whatever. Maybe we can get some extra people in here and chat about stuff. But yeah, if you submitted a question or topic, thank you so much for that. If you ever want to reach me, you can hit me up on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Xbox Live, PSN, Nintendo, Steam. Everything is Enigma9011. You can hit me up on any of those. I'll be happy to chat with you guys. So, once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. And until next time, guys, peace out.